Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 15 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. Today I'd like to get started on a pretty important task. I'd like to get up and running with some Extra Utils too. Extra Utils has a bunch of cool gadgets and stuff, and there's a few things I'd like to work towards having. And before I can work towards having it, I have to start generating EU power. So Extra Utils power is called GP, and we're going to need to start generating it. So there's a couple ways we can go about generating GP. One of the basic ways, and only way we can do it at the beginning, is solar panels. So there's either solar or lunar panels. Solar panels use lapis, and lunar panels require lunar reactive dust, which you make in a resonator, which needs power, which needs GP to run. So you're basically going to have to start with solar panels. So basically, during the day, you've got power going. We're going to want about, unless anything's changed, 8 of these. So let's make 3 sets. We're going to need polished stone, which is going to require some smooth stone. So let's yoinks and a zoinks. That should be cool. And that polished stone should be cool for 1, 2, 3 sets of solar panels. Nice. We're gonna go stick them in the roof. As long as it's daytime, these things will work. Now the cool thing about this mod, I love how that just fits perfectly in the house. The cool thing about Extra Utils solar panels and the power from Extra Utils is it's a global power source, which means any machines that require it, it's always tied to your player. So as a matter of fact, if you look at any Extra Utils power generating using item, you'll see the amount of grid power. The first number is how much is being used, and the second number is how much is being generated. So we just placed down 9 solar panels, which generate 1 per solar panel, which means we're getting 9 grid power, and we're using 0. Nice. The next component that we're going to want to get into is a resonator. There's lots of furnaces, by the way, that generate power. There's also a neat little wireless battery power transmitter, which we will probably want to use really soon-ish. So the resonator requires some iron, a block of coal, some redstone, one of those dudes. So let's get some iron and some coal. And we'll see what we can do. So resonator and some redstone, right? So the resonator here is going to generate stuff from the mod for us. There's a bunch of things it can create, and I'm going to stick you in the corner, and I'm going to throw some polished stone into you. It costs 8 GP per polished stone to get produced. Now we can speed this up with upgrades. However, those upgrades will also increase the power demands, and if we don't have enough GP, it won't produce the polished stone. It'll turn it from polished stone into stone burnt, which can be used to produce some better stuff in a minute here. There's other ways to generate it. So a lava mill will generate 2 GP as long as it's adjacent to lava. So you place down a lava source, you place a lava mill next to it, boom, you've got 2 GP going on. A water mill will produce power based on flowing blocks of water, not source blocks. So if it's a source block of water, it doesn't count. Flowing blocks, the closer it is to the source block, the more power it produces. And at most, it can produce 4 GP. We'll see how that works, because that's pretty much, by far and away, the best way to generate GP. There's also the windmill, which will generate power based on, how windy it is outside, and you can see the current power given there. And then the fire mill will place it over fire, you get 2 GP. The only other mill that's kind of worth is getting the dragon egg mill. You place a dragon egg on top of it, and I think you get 500 GP or something stupid like that. It's a nice way to generate GP, but it's definitely requiring a dragon egg, which we don't have right now. So the best way, by far and away, of the early tier power sources, almost to the point where I think Tema should really rebalance the wind and the lava and the fire mills around it, or rebalance the water mill to nerf it. I don't know. But one way or another, the water mill is superior by far. So we're going to be making a bunch of these. So we're going to need some redstone gears and some resonating redstone crystals. By the way, you find these when you break redstone ore in the world, but you can also craft them with 4 redstone and a piece of ender. This ender shard can be made by breaking an ender pearl with the glass cutter, and you wind up getting 8 ender shards, which is cool. So if you start running low on resonating redstone crystals, which we probably will, we just need that glass cutter, which, did I ever make a glass cutter? I forget. I play so much Minecraft But I forget if I ever made a glass cutter. But it's really easy to make, so it's not that big a deal. We just need 3 iron and a stick. So 3 iron and a stick. Might have some sticks? I totally do. Cool. So glass cutter is easy. Boom. And then we grab an ender pearl, of which we have many now. Hooray. And we can carve it up. Cool. And then it's 4 redstone. And one of these dudes gets you one of those. And I like how the texture changes on the ender shard to represent how many of them you have. Isn't that cool? Super cool. All right, so if we want a few more of these, we could do something like that. And boom, we've got more of them. Neat. We're also going to need some redstone torches, so it's a good thing I got my sticks. So any other of these recipes, and I'm going to go ahead and get a bunch more stone burnt, if I may. We'll just let that cook, because it takes a while. Any of the watermill recipes, or any of the other mills, right? Watermill, windmill, fire mill, lava mill, all require stone burnt, which needed the power system up and running before we could make it, which is why we needed to do solar first. Now we have stone burnt, we can make watermills. So let's take a look at how watermills will serve our needs. So we're going to need a few of these. So let's get 16 sound good for now? Needs a decent amount of these dudes. Right? So that'll be 4, and then that'll allow me to get 2 watermills. Cool. And in total, that should give me 8 more GP, which is pretty neat. And we'll need a few more stone burnt. Not too big a deal. To get the next set. So a bucket will help me here. And we have to decide where we want this setup to live. You know what else I might want to make is an elevator. Now that we have ender pearls. Do we have sheep? Like, I know we have string. I traded a bunch of string for ender pearls. But do we have sheep? That's a good question. Wool. We've got a little bit of this stuff. Let's go bring our shears outside. I know there's sheep somewhere out there. We can go bouncing around. I'll put the glass cutter away for now. I don't think I really need him. Is it daytime? It is. There's sheep in this direction, right? Yeah. One thing that slime sling does not help with is water. I'm going to shear some wool, and we're going to make some elevators, which are another one of my absolute favorite items from all of modded Minecraft. There is a handful of items that I just absolutely love, and the elevator, totally on the list. Totally on the list. Because it's a great way to get up and down. Ladders, to me, not a fan. I mean, you know, they get the job done. They allow you to get up and down. But elevators, whew, let me tell you, they are the bomb. All right, let me get more wool, and we'll come back. Hey, did I know this temple was here? Because that's cool. There's a temple here. I don't think I knew that. Let's check for, ooh, astral stuff. Ooh, nice. 2 constellations. 1, Visio, and Decidia. Nice, that's cool. I'll take your loots. Don't mind if I do. Kind of nice finding this stuff. Okay, that looks good. I totally have a lot of junk in my inventory. Let's get rid of smooth stone. It's basically cobble, so it's voidable. Alright, more sheep. Nighttime soon. Back in a minute. Isn't a pink sheep like the rarest of all sheeps? I feel like it is. Isn't that like the super like weird and hard to find one? I think that's true. I don't know. Hey look, a little pool of lava. I didn't know that was there either. Neat stuff in this little purpley area. Alright, off in this direction. To home, James. Okay, all organized and cleaned up. Let's grab a couple ender pearls. We'll grab a couple white elevators. The difference in color, by the way, is elevators of the same color will only connect to each other. So, like white won't connect to orange, for example. I've never ever used more than one color, but I'm sure there's reasons to have it. Let's stick our elevator right here. Does that seem like a coolish place? So what we can do is put an elevator here, and there, and then jump, and shift. Oh, that's so satisfyingly cool. You know what that means? I don't need this nonsense anymore. How great is that? Huh? How great is that? Amazing. It also works through at least one, I believe, right? Yep, block. Maybe more than one? Oh yeah, look at that. Works through more than one. So, pretty beautiful. Loving it. All right, good. That's cool. So that's like a nice and easy way to get up and down to the basement now that we no longer need to deal with that nonsense. And we can put this away, and hey, look at that. Planks. Replacing that one right there. Cool. Oh, you know what else I have to do? Since I found these cool little constellation-y things, which I definitely want to get back into Astral Sorcery. Don't worry, I'm getting back to that at some point. Just want to do a little technological upgrading. So let's put that in our Astral Tome. So if we open this up, we should be able to put these guys in here. And if we check constellations, we now have more constellations. Hooray! Everybody's a winner. Nice. All right, now that we have an elevator, let's figure out where I want to place these water mills. That seems like a good idea. And I'm also going to smelt a bit more cobble. So let's go to our redstone furnace and throw a stack of cobble in there that you can smelt for me. Might want to upgrade their speed a little bit at some point, but we'll see. So maybe... Doesn't really matter where I do this. But let's get you and you ready to start hammering up the walls. That was supposed to be cobble, by the way. Cobble's always on my 5th slot, unless I've done something. Cool. What's up, Liz? So living with this cave under me is not what I would call an ideal situation, but it's not the end of the world either. That'll do. So if we wanted to, we could set up like a fancy little area down here. That we can put our GP production in. So like right in this area. So the way this works, first off, we're gonna want some water. So let's, can I like, I guess not. Pop outside then. Probably the fastest and easiest way to get water. Let's get an infinite source here, because we're going to need a bunch of it. That works. Alright, so for this to work, we basically put this down. And you can see on the mouse over how much it's generating, so no power used or generated. So the way this works is... depending on, so like a source, for example, won't work. That does nothing. If you're 1 block away from a source, you're generating 4 power, which is a lot, okay? If you are 2 blocks away from a source, you're generating 3 power. And if you're 1, 2, 3 blocks away from a source, you're generating 3 power. And then you're generating 2 power, and you get the point, right? So the most ideal layout is to be 1 block away from a source. So a really good layout would be to place a source block, and I'm going to go ahead and set up an infinite source before I forget that that's something I want to do. I hear that blizz down there. So if you put 1 here, this is 1 block away from a source, and that's 1 block away from a source, and you're generating 8. But then if we put 1 here, now we've got these sides also being 1 block from a source. So you're generating a total of 16 power from 1 water mill. So it's 4 per side. It's awesome. So that's a really nice and efficient way of going about setting up water mills. So we could, in theory, set up some more cool stuff. So like if you wanted to, we could totally put one here. And so this is a source block, remember, right? So on this side and this side, we're generating 4 each. So that's 8. And then what we'll probably want to do is place a source here. And now we're generating 16 and 16. Nice. So now we will get that polished, boom, boom, good to go, right? Let's get a little bit more redstone. Totally gonna have to deal with the fact that we are not having a lot of luck with redstone right now. Well, that's not true. We're not having a lot of luck. We are having, we're doing okay. We're just not great. So 4 of you, and that can get me 2 more water mills, right? Now, we don't need a huge amount of power just yet, but we may need some more eventually. Now, what's cool is this spot right here is a great place to put another one of these, because you're generating 8, right? There and there. So that's, like, not a bad place at all to generate some stuff, right? So we just put this here. And now you're generating 16, right? Not bad. So that's cool. And so you're a source. So if I did this, that's 8, right? So basically in that kind of pattern, right? Or that one could also be 8, and this one can also be 8. So it works out. Good. We should have another water here. So we'll expand this and make it a little bit more efficient as we get around to it. But for now, we're generating a decent amount of power. There's much more efficiency we can have here, by the way, in terms of space. But for now, we're generating, 64 grid power during the night, plus 9 during the day, right? So daytime is when the solars run. So 64 plus 9. Cool, 73 grid power. Beautiful. So we can speed this up if we want, but there's other cool things we can do with grid power that we'll probably be checking out almost immediately. One of the things I'd like to do with it, let's sort this stuff all away. So that all looks good, and we'll put the wool away too. What I'd like to look at doing is using the grid power to make ineffable glass. So dark ineffable glass is 8 dark glass around a moonstone. Will get me 8 dark ineffable glass, which is great. And it just needs 8 lunar reactive dust around a diamond to get that. So let's grab a diamond and 8 lapis. And what we'll do is, as soon as this one's done, we'll do that. And I'll come back in a minute when the lunar reactive dust is done. It uses 16 GP per lunar reactive dust, by the way, so definitely more. So FYI, if we want to speed up this process, we could get speed upgrades. And to do this, we're going to need to convert some weighted pressure plates. Let's see, are you almost done? You're almost done. We convert these into upgrade bases. Cool. So this guy should be done in like a second. That's cool. Right. Weighted pressure plate light. That's what I made, isn't it? Okay, cool. You were just being a little derpy. So I got 6 of these lunar reactive dusts, so that's cool. So this will speed it up, but also increase cost when we speed it up. So upgrade base plus gold ingot plus block of redstone equals this. We toss it in there. It now costs 16 GP to convert, but it's faster. Cool. So let's put this guy together. And if we throw these in, it's 48 GP, but look how much faster it is. It's a much faster operation. So more GP cost, faster operation. That's what speed upgrades do. Totally worth doing if you're in a rush, like I usually am. So like this one, for example, is going to cost 24 GP, but look how much faster it is to convert. Like that's way faster than it was before. So now we combine these guys. Now, if we had some dark glass laying around, that would be cool, right? Fortunately, we don't. Luckily, there's a thing we can do to help us out. So let's pop over to here. Oh, you're full. Look at all that experience. Lights on. So the glass cutter, one of the cool little unknown, I don't know about unknown, but rarely utilized thing, you can use it to break glass without it being destroyed. So it's like Silk Touch, but only for glass. Look at all the experience I'm getting. It's kind of nice, actually. The only problem is that this would be a little bit of a lag generating machine. All those experience orbs can and totally will generate lots of lag if you let them. So dark glass around that guy will make dark ineffable glass. Sounds cool to me. Do we have any more dark glass? Because if we do, I'd like to use 2 of them elsewhere. I think we have 1. Silly dark glass. We have thickened glass. We might have ink sacs. Do I have no more ink sacs? Or am I just, like, not seeing them? I guess I don't have ink sacs, so I'm not going to worry about it. I just wanted to, like, be even about it. So you need 9 pieces of glass for the door that I have, like the quote-unquote door that I'm about to have. But we do this, where that can't be seen. And that looks pretty cool. Right? Not terrible. So I can walk right through it. Dark ineffable glass is great, because you can walk right through it. So no more having to break that wall. I can now walk in and out of my room. Pretty sweet. If I wanted to be super efficient about it, that would be dark ineffable glass, but it would cost me another diamond and another 8 lapis. 2 resources which I really don't have that much of right now. So I'm going to save myself the trouble and just let it look ugly from inside. Because you can't tell from the outside that it's ugly, right? And you quickly converted a bunch more stone burnt. How nice is that? So we can get lots more water mills if we need, but I'm actually kind of low on redstone, so I'm going to not, if that's all right with you guys. I feel like that should be okay. Cool. So that's all done. We'll put that away. Pretty sure Extra Utils filters into my chest with important stuff, whatnot. It should go into here, right? This is the Extra Utils chest. Yeah, glass cutter wound up in there. So we're cool. Great. So things and stuff, right? Looking good. Back in a minute. So one of the best things you can get with wireless or with GP is a nifty block called the wireless RF battery, which is neat. What I like about this block is it is a pretty simple and straightforward way of getting some really low level but wireless RF transfer. So what do I mean by that? So let's take a look. Now this does require some GP, I'm pretty sure, but basically you hook this guy up to some power transfer, right? So anywhere you want to put it, right? Boom, put it right there. And you can see it's filling up with RF. Holds about 3200 RF right in there. Boom. Grid power. Power drain is 4. So it uses 4 power, I think, for that thing to exist. And these guys can be placed on a wall, and they will wirelessly transfer power to any machines nearby that need it. So you right-click, and you'll see which tiles it's serving. Basically, these are the machines that it's powering. It's pretty cool. It has a range of about 4 blocks. So if we put this higher up on the wall, we'll see it seems to be all right still. It's around 4-ish blocks. So we'll try and move this further away here. No nearby tiles. There you go. So that's about the range of it, right? The other thing is it can only transfer 80 RF a tick, which is great at lower levels of power and is not so great at higher levels of power. But now that we have that, and considering we were talking earlier about needing more obsidian, it might be a cool time to get ourselves an ender tank. Blaze rods, huh? I could totally hook myself up with some blaze rods. I have an idea on how to do that too. Boom. I mean, we have some, but we could probably use more at some point. And plastic. We're going to go visit the nether in a minute here. This is going to be like a quick run through to get this up and running. Plastic, 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 plastic. Where do you live, plastic? I don't actually know where plastic is chilling at. I know we've got some. Just having trouble finding where it's living. Plastic. Oh, there you are. So I think it was 4 plastic, right? To make another safari net. So here's a point where having more blaze rods would be cool. So we're going to grab a mob imprisonment tool, and we're going to go bring that to get ourselves some blazes that we can then spawn. And then in addition to that, that might also be a good time to test the range thingy that we were having problems with. But I'd like to make a couple ender tanks, which are great things to have. It's going to require 4 obsidian, but other than that, we should have everything we need. So let's go get 4 obsidian from our smeltery, which at some point I should really consider moving closer to my base. Shift. Overshot it. That's all right, we'll live. Real quick, 4 obsidian. I should have hopefully 4 tanks of, or 4 buckets of lava. 1, 2, 1, 2. Obsidian, thank you. Go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Cool. Back in a minute when the school's. Okay, so we've got the obsidian. We're going to need a little bit of wool. You can be sorted. How about a couple pieces of wool? Wool, wool, wool. I know I've got some wool. A couple ender pearls. Nice. The blaze rods. And then we're going to need about 14 iron. And that will be cool for 2 cauldrons. I'm also going to want 6 redstone or red dye, and I'll tell you why. Those of you who are familiar with how this mod works will know why. Those of you who are not may not. So these tanks will always have the exact same liquid in them at all times. They work like ender chests, but for liquids. For those of you who may not be familiar with this mod. So for example, if there's a bucket of water in there, there's a bucket of water in here, and vice versa. How cool is that? So what we're going to do, and they can all be color-coded, right? So if I make this red, for example, the white, white, red ender tank will always have the same as the white, white, red ender tank. So if I make that red, then they match again. If I make you red, then they no longer match. Cool? Yes. So what I'm going to do is make you red, red, red. We're going to take the water out of you, and that should be cool. Now we've got ender tanks that will always have the same amount of liquid in them, which is neat. So we're going to use those ender tanks to pump up lava. So we're going to want a ranged pump. It might be at ranged pumps. Yeah, pump from ranged pumps. Ooh, that needs a block of diamond. Ooh, that hurts. That's going to sting. And 4 more obsidian. Ooh, that stings. I don't even know if I can... Ooh, block of diamond. It's worth it. It's worth it for infinite lava. Having infinite lava at my base will be worth it. Will be worth a block of diamond. I'm going to need 4 more obsidian. So, back in a sec when I make those 4 obsidian. Alright, obsidian's ready. I need another bucket of lava that I forgot about. So then, back to the base. It is fun traveling around the slime sling, but it is in no way an accurate, let's say, form of travel. So for this, we're going to want a couple of you. And 1 of you. And that should be it. Cool. Ranged pump, which does require RF. A small amount of RF. Enough such that we can do this. Cool. I think we're also going to need a lever for this guy. I'm pretty sure. And I forget if he needs a fluid duct between him or not. So I don't think I have any hardened ones, so I'll just grab 2 signalum and that should be fine. But I think putting the tank right on top should be alright. So... Nether portal. See you guys in the nether. Alright, so I don't want this too far from the nether portal, and we totally want to chunk load it as well. So I think like right over this cliff face here would be cool. I wouldn't mind having a little bit better control over getting up and down, but we'll be fine. Ow, 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 ow. I hate the nether. So right here seems like a nice place to put him. So I'm going to put this guy down here. You notice he has no RF, insufficient energy. But if I pop this guy down, he will serve that tile, who will start getting RF. Oh, and look, he doesn't require a redstone signal anymore, so he's got lava in his internal tank. Beautiful. Put an ender tank on top of it, and awesome, it's filling up. Look at that. And notice the ender tank in my inventory, even though it's not showing, it is totally filling up with lava as well. Nice. It used to show in your inventory, but I guess that's something that don't work no more. No biggie. Let's just get up here. So by the way, we also want to make sure to F3G. Did I put you guys in different chunks? I totally did. you in the same chunk. So I only have to load one chunk. So claim chunks, the one I'm in. It's claimed, it's chunk loaded, I presume it's gonna work. We'll find out if I'm wrong. F3G to close chunk borders. And we are cool now. Oh yeah, return to sender. I'm going to get that gas tier because that is a gas tier, and they are not common. Oh, you know what else I wanted to do while I was here? I wanted to get the Safari Net with a blaze in it, didn't I? So let's do that real quick. I'll be right back once I make it to the fortress. Okay, fortress in sight. Blazes, please. Where are you? Wherefore art thou, blaze? This will also come in handy at some point when I want to start farming wither skeletons. There's a blaze spawner, so I should be able to tap into this dude. Blaze spawn, please. Come on. You can spawn one. I only need one. Thank you. Meet you back at the base. So in theory now, we should have an infinite lava source, relatively infinite. It'll run forever. So when we pick up a bucket's worth, look at that, beautiful. Pretty much unlimited lava, which is cool. It's really cool. And we're gonna go ahead and stick with that. So for now, I think I'm gonna wrap up the episode. We will come back next episode and probably consider some more things to do. But for now, we've got wireless power transfer and infinite lava all in the same episode. How cool is that? And if we wanted to, we could swap this out for blazes and flip a lever, and then boom, we're spawning blazes. Look at that. Cool. I'll let this run for a little bit, and I'll see if any blazes spawn outside. What I'm suspecting is the ceiling is too low, and the Endermen are spawning in such a way that their heads are in the ceiling and they're teleporting away. So if I'm right about that, raising the ceiling 1 Y level height should be sufficient. I'll just have to see if my light source is sufficient. It looks like it will be because it's 10s and 11s around that. So raising that 1 Y level shouldn't be a problem. But hey, what's up, blaze rods for days? Blaze rods and ender pearls for days. That's what's up. Now, Devil 20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Wow, look at all this cool stuff. Take it easy.